Welcome back to another episode of Uncut with Lucia. On today's episode, we are speaking with Tom Wheelwright. Tom is a CPA and the CEO of WealthAbility. He's also a best-selling author, and his latest book is called The Win-Win Wealth Strategy: 7 investments the government will pay you to make. So, Tom, what made you become a CPA?
Well, so I grew up in a family business, and my father was a printer, and he had a printing business with his brother, and all of the kids worked in the business from the time we were young. I think I started working when I was 12 in the business, and my mother was the controller for the company. So I was pretty much a mama's boy. I loved my mother. I loved working with her. And so I worked in bookkeeping, and that got me started in accounting. Then I actually was a Mormon missionary in Paris. And when I was there, I was the financial secretary for the Paris mission. So I did more accounting. Even when I was a missionary, I did accounting. And then when I came back, I went to school and did my undergraduate and my graduate, and it's just always been part of who I am. I love numbers. I love the law. It's a great combination.
So it's meant to be, Tom.
Totally.
I might be your target demographic because
All right.
I don't understand much about taxes or accounting. That is very much my husband's department. So
Okay.
you are best known for making taxes fun,
Correct.
easy, and understandable, which I'm a little
Absolutely.
skeptical of that, Tom.
So I can prove the fun part.
Okay.
Okay. So what's the best part of taxes is getting a refund, right? That's the best part of tax, getting a refund. And you'll notice that fun is right in the middle of refund. So refunds are fun. You just want to get more refunds. And that's the key to having taxes be fun, unless you're a nerd like I am. And then taxes are fun anyway. But they're not that hard. They're not that hard to understand. They're really not.
I've never looked at taxes in this way. And maybe there is some hope for me to have some fun with taxes.
Absolutely. I think we should absolutely have fun with taxes. That is my favorite thing to do.
And also, Tom, you are the CEO of WealthAbility. Can you tell us more about this company?
I can. So we believe that everybody throughout the world has the right and the power to be independent, financially independent of employers, financially independent of the government, and financially independent of Wall Street. And that you have the greatest ability to create your own wealth. You have more ability to create your own wealth than anybody else in the world. You care about your wealth more than anybody else in the world. You are better suited to create your wealth than anybody else in the world. So we're very much about helping people understand gaining that ability so that somebody else, you're not depending on somebody else to create wealth for you. Instead, you're creating your own wealth.
That sounds good. Yeah, really good. And then you decided to write a book.
I did. 10 years ago, I wrote Tax-Free Wealth at the insistence of my friend Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote, of course, the #1 financial book of all times, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he said, I'd like you to teach with me. I want you to be one of my advisors. You have to write a book. And I said, great. So I'd been thinking about it actually for many, many, many years. And I sat down, I wrote Tax-Free Wealth in about a month. And then there's a lot of editing and all that kind of stuff. But it was just, it's basically my story and about taxes. And it's very much taking taxes and looking at it a very different way. Instead of looking at it as something to be afraid of, looking at it as something to embrace and something to say, wait a minute, the tax law doesn't have to be bad for me. It can be good for me. And that's something that nobody else has ever taken that one on. So I decided, well, then I should take it on.
And what got you into writing?
So I started with tax-free wealth, which when I was first working, I was working with Robert Kiyosaki of Rich Dad Poor Dad fame, and he said, "I'd like you to come on the road with me and teach with me all over the world, but I need you to write a book, and it needs to be a book that isn't just U.S. based, but actually looks at taxes worldwide." And so I sat down and I wrote Tax-Free Wealth. And this has been a book. It's been in the US. It's a #1 bestseller and has been for 10 years. And it's been great. It's I get people coming up to me all over the world and they'll say, "Oh, you're the accounting guy who wrote that book on tax." And I love that. I love that we're able to share a different way of thinking about taxes and accounting and a different way of looking at how the government actually works.
Mm-hmm. And the foreword is written by Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Correct. He actually wrote the foreword to both of my books, Tax-Free Wealth and the Win-Win Wealth Strategy. I'm very fortunate to be able to call him a friend and a mentor. We talk regularly, pretty much every week. We talk at least once, and I'm very lucky. I'm in a small group of people that gets to sit at the foot of the master, and we're always learning more about the financial world, more about the, frankly, the political world, whatever we need to be learning about, we're studying together.
You know each other for a long time.
We have known each other for over 20 years. So yes, I met Robert in 2022 is the first time I met Robert. I mean, sorry, 2002. 2002. I met Robert in 2002. So I've known him over 20 years, yes.
And can you tell us a little bit about your book?
I can. So Tax-Free Wealth is basically a book about how to build wealth by reducing your taxes. So taxes, the first thing to understand is that the tax law is not out to get you. The tax law, as it's written, is fundamentally a series of incentives. These are things the government wants you to do, and it's an incentive to do those things. So, for example, let's say that you want, the government wants agriculture. They want food produced. Well, they give incentives to farmers to produce and ranchers to produce agriculture. I don't think anybody would question those incentives. But let's say instead you wanted to, the government wanted you to build housing. Well, the government needs housing, so they incentivize investors to build housing. And so once you have the approach that, wait a minute, this is not something the government's trying to get back at me for, they're trying to help me. So really fundamentally, and this is what I go through in Win-Win Wealth Strategy, fundamentally, we are all partners with the government. We don't get to choose. You know it every time you look at your paycheck and you go, how come I don't get all my money? Right? Because you're a partner with the government. You're paying taxes. You don't get to choose that. You do get to choose what kind of partner you are. So you can be a silent partner, which is 95% of the public, or you can be an active partner with the government doing the things the government wants done. Once you take that approach to, I'm going to be active in doing things government wants done, the government's basically, they win because they get things done that they want done. You win because you pay less tax, and you win because you build wealth. Because here's a rule that everybody needs to remember. The more money you make, the more tax you pay. The more wealth you build, the less tax you pay. Yeah. So the more wealth you build, the less tax you pay, because the government literally wants you to build wealth. They want you to create housing. They want you to create businesses, technology, agriculture, energy. All of those things are things that are building wealth for you while they're reducing your taxes at the same time.
That makes a lot of sense, Tom. And also you mentioned that the truth about taxes is that we should follow the rules of the rich.
Absolutely.
So what does that mean exactly?
Well, so here's what happens. The reason people don't know this is because, so the reason the rich don't pay tax is because they have really good tax advisors, really good financial advisors telling them, here's what you do in order to pay less tax, right? But the average person doesn't have that. available to them, which is why I wrote these 2 books. Okay. So the average person doesn't get that available. So what do you have to do? Well, you have to learn something about it yourself. It's not that difficult. Again, one of the things to remember is if I do something to help society and to help do what the government wants done, like housing, energy, and jobs, then I'm going to get tax benefits. If I'm totally selfish and I save my money and I spend my money, so I'm an employee, I go to work, I come home, I save my money, I spend my money, I'm going to pay high taxes. But if I take my money and I invest it to do good in the world, I'm going to pay less tax. And in fact, I can pay zero tax, which is a lot of rich people do pay zero tax because they're constantly investing their money. But you have to be investing. You have to be building wealth. If you save the money or you spend the money, you'll get taxed on the money.
Very good. And so out of curiosity, how do you foresee your strategy helping people in this economy?
Oh, well, so it's interesting. I have a fortunate business that is good in a good economy and good in a bad economy. And the reason is in a good economy, people have money. And so they're paying a lot of tax. So they want to pay less tax. But in a tough economy, people are scrambling for money. The fastest way to put money in your pocket is to reduce your taxes. So if you're paying 40% of your paycheck into taxes and you could pay 20% instead, well, that's 20 that you've just doubled the amount of money you have, or cut the amount of tax you pay in half. And so that's money instantly in your pocket because you reduce your withholding, you reduce your payments to the government. And so now in a tough economy, we're always looking for money, right? We're always looking, where do we get the next dollar? And the best way to get money in a down economy is to reduce your expenses. And the easiest expense to reduce are your taxes. And so that's why we focus, and that's our specialty, is helping people reduce their taxes, because, you know, when you're struggling, man, you need that money. The government doesn't need your money. You need your money, but you can do it legally, ethically, and morally. You do not need to cheat.
Yes, thank you for your advice. And Tom, you've accomplished quite a lot. So what are your next career goals going forward? I'm sure you're not going to stop here.
No. We, our goal is 10,000 members in our network worldwide. We have 65 right now. Our goal is 10,000. We want to completely revolutionize the accounting profession. We have a very big goal here. Our profession is very behind. It's behind the rest of the world. There's a lot of great people in the profession, and they just need training and they need systems. And we're taking that on. We're developing software for them, software for their clients. We're developing different ways to educate people. So we have some pretty lofty goals. Yeah, there's no slowing down anytime soon.
And I knew it. So are you currently working on anything new that you would like to share with us?
I am. I'm actually working on a new book for the accounting profession, for financial professionals. So how to run a better firm, how to run a better company as a financial professional, how to serve your clients better, how to be more efficient, how to work better with your employees, really how to make more money, pay less tax, and serve more people.
Yeah, pay less tax. This is the word.
There you go. It's always a key.
Yes. And Tom, so first of all, I would love to have you back when you
Thank you. I would love that.
Yes, you're already invited. And to our audience, could you please tell us where can we find you online, and of course your book?
Sure, absolutely. So you can find my book on Amazon or in any bookstore. Both books are readily available, Tax-Free Wealth and the Win-Win Wealth Strategy. You can contact us at WealthAbility.com. And if you're in the US or Canada, we're certainly happy to help you get with the right accounting professional. And if you're an accounting professional and you want to learn how to improve your business, contact us at WealthAbility.com. We'll help. We're happy to work with you as well. So we want to work with both accounting professionals and business owners and investors, and just do whatever we can to help in the financial education world.
Thank you, Tom. It's such an honor to have you here today. And yes, I wish you can conquer the world with your
Thank you.
company and keep helping people, because I know this is not an easy task. And yeah, I'll be waiting for you here again. Please come
Awesome.
back. Okay.
Thanks, Lucia. I would
Thank
love
you.
to.
Thank you very much.